Welcome to the press conference following our first ever EU-ASEAN summit. Here to give a statement are the President of the European Council, the Prime Minister of Cambodia as co-chair, the President of the European Commission, of course, and the President of the Philippines as coordinator of the EU-ASEAN relations. We have just published, or we're in the midst of publishing, the declaration on the website of the European Council, so please check that out. There is also interpretation into Khmer for the media joining us, and I would first like to invite the President of the European Council to take the floor. I hope that the interpretation is ongoing.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. This summit today was historic, bringing together the leaders of the EU and ASEAN for the first time. A special thanks to my co-chair, Prime Minister Hun Sen, Chair of ASEAN, and President Marcos as ASEAN Coordinator for relations with the European Union. Today, we are endorsing our EU-ASEAN Plan of Action until 2027. We also just concluded our EU-ASEAN Comprehensive Air Transport Agreement, the first ever region-to-region aviation agreement, and we signed our partnership and cooperation agreements with Thailand and Malaysia. These agreements will strengthen our political dialogue and boost our cooperation with the two countries. Today, the EU-ASEAN celebrated 45 years as partners, and this month also marks the 2-year anniversary of the EU and ASEAN becoming strategic partners. The EU-ASEAN partnership is unique. It brings Europe and Asia closer together to increase the security and prosperity of our citizens. The EU is ASEAN's second largest foreign investor and third largest trading partner. Together, we represent over 1 billion people in 37 countries. So, our partnership is a major force with great potential to tackle global challenges like climate change, digital transition, and free and fair trade. The Indo-Pacific is a region of growth and opportunity, and as a strategic partners, we are strong advocates for multilateralism and the international rules-based order. We share the strong belief that global challenges can only be addressed by working together. And today's meeting is also an opportunity to boost our cooperation for greater prosperity. And one way to do that is through trade. Trade is a powerful engine for growth and for creating closer ties between our regions. Our trade agreements with Vietnam and Singapore are a good example, and we are working on trade agreements with other countries in the region. We can also forge stronger ties for the good of our planet. Climate change is a threat to everyone's existence, and we share the same objective. We owe it to the next generation to cooperate on this global challenge together. We also discuss the importance of the digital transition. This will play a massive part in the success of our societies. So, we need to band together to develop safe, fair, and inclusive digital economies. We also discussed the war against Ukraine and its dramatic consequences for the world, especially on energy and food security. This war blatantly violates the United Nations Charter, and the attempt to change internationally recognized borders by force is not acceptable. We will never accept it. We also discussed the crisis in Myanmar that negatively impacts stability in the region, and we continue to support ASEAN's efforts to address this crisis. We support the full implementation of the 5-point consensus and the personal investment of Prime Minister Hun Sen. Finally, we discussed our intensified security cooperation with several Asian and ASEAN partners, including maritime security. Maritime security is vital for the world, is vital also for Europe, due to the importance of trade routes and their protection. It's in our mutual interest to bolster our cooperation in this area. This has been a memorable day. ASEAN can count on the EU to be a steadfast partner. Together, we'll make this partnership even stronger. I thank you.
Thank you, President. May I now invite the Prime Minister of Cambodia to take the floor, please.
Adam អរលោកលោកស្រីខ្ញុំសូមសម្ដែងនៅការឯកភាពនិងការលើកឡើងរបស់អាដាមប្រធានអំបញ្ញមិញនេះសម្រាប់ខ្ញុំចាប់ផ្ដើមដោយការស្វាគមន៍យ៉ាងកក់ក្ដៅចំពោះលោកស្រីអរលោកស្រីដែលបានចូលរួមនៅក្នុងសន្និសីទសារព័ត៌មាននេះថ្ងៃនេះគឺជាឱកាសដ៏វិសេសវិសាលមួយនៅក្នុងភាពជាដៃគូរបស់យើងក្នុងការរៀបចំកិច្ចប្រជុំកំពូលរំលឹកខួបអនុស្សាវរីយ៍អាស៊ានសហភាពអឺរ៉ុបទទួលបានជោគជ័យនិងប្រកបដោយផ្លែផ្កាខ្ញុំក៏សូមចែករំលែកនៅសុទ្ធិនិយមនិងចំនួនទឹកចិត្តជាមួយអាយដាមសានមីសែលនិងលោកជំទាវអ៊ូស៊ូឡាវុនដឺលេហ្គេនចំពោះវឌ្ឍនភាពនៃទំនាក់ទំនងរវាងតំបន់ទាំងពីរហើយសង្ឃឹមថាមុនមមថាកិច្ចសហប្រតិបត្តិការរបស់យើងនឹងកាន់តែស៊ីជម្រៅទូលំទូលាយនិងផ្ដល់ប្រយោជន៍ឲ្យគ្នាទៅវិញទៅមកខ្ញុំពិតជាមានសេចក្តីរាយចំពោះកិច្ចសន្ទនារបស់យើងនៅលើប្រធានបទជាច្រើនដែលមានការពាក់ព័ន្ធនិងមានសារៈសំខាន់នៅក្នុងតំបន់យើងទាំងពីរប្រកបដោយបើកចំហនិងស្មោះត្រង់ព្រមទាំងស្ថាបនាជាមួយគ្នានេះអ្វីដែលធ្វើឲ្យដៃគូរបស់យើងរឹតតែសំខាន់ទៀតនោះគឺការវិវត្តស្ថានភាពដ៏គួរឲ្យព្រួយបារម្ភនិងផុយស្រួយដែលពិភពលោកទាំងមូលប្រឈមទៅនឹងការសាកល្បងដ៏ធំមួយដែលមិនធ្លាប់មានពីមុនមកតួយ៉ាងដូចជាការប្រកួតប្រជែងភូមិសាស្ត្រនយោបាយរវាងមហាអំណាចការធ្វើឲ្យរង្គោះរង្គើដល់សណ្ដាប់ធ្នាប់អន្តរជាតិនិងបានគម្រាមកំហែងដល់ស្ថិរភាពសន្តិភាពនិងការរីកចម្រើនស្របពេលជាមួយនឹងការកើនឡើងនៃការប៉ះទង្គិចប្រដាប់អាវុធនិងសង្គ្រាមដោយដែលតំបន់យើងទាំងពីរកំពុងប្រឈមជាឧទាហរណ៍ចំពោះសង្គ្រាមនៅអ៊ុយក្រែនយើងបានបញ្ជាក់ឡើងវិញនៅជំហរដ៏រឹងមាំរបស់យើងក្នុងការគោរពចំពោះអធិបតេយ្យភាពបូរណភាពទឹកដីនិងឯករាជ្យភាពខាងនយោបាយហើយយើងជំទាស់នឹងការទន្ទ្រានយកដីនិងការប្រើប្រាស់ឬគំរាមដោយកម្លាំងប្រឆាំងនឹងរដ្ឋអធិបតេយ្យមួយទៀតយើងបានសង្កត់ធ្ងន់ទៅលើភាពចាំបាច់នៃការបញ្ឈប់ជាបន្តនៅភាពបន្ទុះសារាយនិងការបង្កើតបរិយាកាសអំណោយផលសម្រាប់ដោះស្រាយចំនួនដោយសន្តិវិធីដើម្បីបើកផ្លូវឲ្យផ្ដល់ជំនួយមនុស្សធម៌ទៅដល់ជនរងគ្រោះដែលត្រូវការបំផុតនិងបានយ៉ាងឆាប់បំផុតប្រកបដោយសុវត្ថិភាពនិងដោយគ្មានការរារាំងខ្ញុំក៏សូមជាមួយនឹងការលើកឡើងតាមប្រមាណនេះអ្វីដែលជាការសង្ឃឹមរបស់យើងគឺនៅត្រង់ថាតំបន់ទាំងពីររបស់យើងគឺបានផ្សារភ្ជាប់គ្នាបើទោះបីជាយើងនៅឆ្ងាយពីគ្នាក៏ប៉ុន្តែយើងបានផ្សារភ្ជាប់គ្នាคล้ายទៅជាដៃគូយុទ្ធសាស្ត្រហើយអ្វីដែលជាបំណងធំរបស់យើងដែលរកឃើញនៅក្នុងអង្គប្រជុំរបស់យើងនេះគឺកិច្ចព្រមព្រៀងពាណិជ្ជកម្មសេរីរវាងអាស៊ានជាមួយអឺរ៉ុបតំបន់ទាំងពីរក៏បីត្រូវធ្វើកិច្ចការងារនេះឲ្យបានលឿនបំផុតតាមដែលអាចធ្វើទៅបានខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណចំពោះការយកចិត្តទុកដាក់ស្ដាប់របស់អស់លោកនេះ
Thank you, Prime Minister. Madam President, can I invite you?
Yes, thank you very much, dear Prime Minister Hun Sen, dear President Marcos, dear Charles. Ladies and gentlemen, we had an excellent summit today with our ASEAN partners. Quite a special summit too, indeed, because it marks 45 years of relations between us, and it's a perfect occasion just to open a new chapter in our partnership. We are what you just said and called strategic partners. We stand behind this term. What stands behind this term is the reality of two regions that have so much in common, despite being a world apart. We are the two most successful regional integration projects in the world. We share the same unyielding commitment to multilateralism and the international rule of law. That means the same rules for all, whether big or small, and we both want to relegate the notion of spheres of influence to the past, where it belongs. The European Union pleads for closer cooperation between the EU and the ASEAN partners. Russia has unleashed its war of aggression against Ukraine. War has returned to the European continent, and it is clear that this is not solely a European problem, but the world is feeling the brutal shockwaves of this war on food prices, on energy security, and all this is a stark reminder that today, in this world of interdependencies, there is no such thing as a European problem or an Asian problem either. All the challenges we face today are of global nature and therefore affect all of us. You, ASEAN, know what is at stake, and therefore we are very grateful that you have signed the Treaty of Amity and Cooperation with Ukraine. We very much welcome that. The more acute global challenges are, the stronger our partnership must be. And today, we indeed discussed several strands of work to reinforce this partnership. The first one is energy. We want together to accelerate with our partners the clean energy revolution. So today we launched a Just Energy Transition Partnership with Vietnam, for example, similar to the one we have with Indonesia. And we have also decided to start an EU-ASEAN new energy dialogue, because we all know renewable energy is not only good for our climate, but it is also homegrown and therefore creates independence and security of supply. Second point is trade. A lot has been said on trade. We want to trade more with each other. We already are each other's third largest trading partners. Our free trade agreements with Vietnam and Singapore are delivering. That's impressive. So the European Union wants to conclude more such agreements with ASEAN countries, and our ultimate goal would be to negotiate a region-to-region free trade agreement. And my third and last point is on infrastructure. Because our energy and trade cooperation will only reach its full potential if it is underpinned by the right infrastructure. Today, Team Europe put forward a 10 billion euros investment package under Global Gateway. And let me end, Prime Minister Hun Sen, by thanking you for your excellent chairmanship this year. I am now looking forward to working with Indonesia under its chairmanship of ASEAN in 2023. We have behind us over 4 decades of partnership, and we will continue championing peace, stability and prosperity together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam President. May I invite the President of the Philippines to take the floor, please?
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We had an extraordinary opportunity today to collectively look back on our shared successes and to exchange views about our prospects for the future. We looked back on ASEAN-EU achievements, most recently the signing of the ASEAN-EU Comprehensive Air Transport Agreement that was signed last October, and the adoption of the Plan of Action to implement the ASEAN-EU's Strategic Partnership for 2023 to 2027. We noted the continued strengthening of cooperation between our regions throughout the pandemic through the following mechanisms: the ASEAN Regional Integration Support from EU+, the EU support to higher education in the ASEAN region, the Enhanced Regional EU-ASEAN Dialogue Instrument, the EU-ASEAN Cooperation on Sustainable Use of Peatland and Haze Mitigation, Biodiversity Conservation and Management of Protected Areas in ASEAN, the Integrated Program in Enhancing the Capacity of AHA Center and ASEAN Emergency Response Mechanism, and the ASEAN-EU Migration and Border Management Program Phase 2, to name but a few. We appreciate the EU member states, and the EU financial institution, in short, Team Europe, for the combined response of over 800 million euro to fight the health, social, and economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic in ASEAN. As we move forward, towards post-pandemic recovery, we eagerly anticipate the resumption of negotiations for the establishment of an ASEAN-EU free trade agreement and of the ASEAN-EU Trade and Investment Work Program. I am pleased that today's summit imbued all of us as ASEAN and EU leaders alike with a sense of renewed commitment to continue nurturing and expanding our unique ASEAN-EU partnership, which will serve us well as we are squeezed by the myriad challenges that we have just discussed, such as the supply chain issues brought about by the pandemic, the global threat to food and energy security made worse by the conflict in Ukraine, and to the societal and economic havoc wrought by climate change, to name a few. I am particularly pleased that this landmark ASEAN-EU commemorative summit was shepherded to conclusion during the Philippines coordinatorship for ASEAN-EU dialogue relations, and that the adopted ASEAN-EU joint leader statement is reflective of the broad nature of our relations and shows clear commitments from both sides to further enhance our relations. We hope to achieve more milestones as the Philippines continues to guide the ASEAN-EU dialogue relations until 2024. I assure my fellow ASEAN member states and all European Union member states that the Philippines will continue to expend all efforts available to ensure that the implementation of the plan of action to implement the ASEAN-EU Strategic Partnership for 2023 to 2027 proceeds as intended. We will strive to expand and deepen our cooperation in the priority areas of post-pandemic economic recovery, strengthening of public health institutions, maritime security and cooperation, environmental protection and sustainable economic development, combating, of course, climate change, and connectivity with its new definition, which goes beyond the strict definition of digital connectivity, but connectivity in all manners, by air, by land, by sea, by digital means. We also will work for the digital transition and the lessening of the so-called digital divide, migration, and gender justice. We look forward to nurturing and bringing forth ASEAN-EU relations to greater heights in our role as country coordinator for ASEAN-EU relations in the next 2 years. Before I end, allow me to thank Your Excellencies, EU Council President Charles Michel, EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, Czech Prime Minister Peter Fiala, and all EU member state leaders for your very warm welcome that you have given us all here in Brussels. And we look forward to the next commemoration of EU-ASEAN relationships. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. We'll now take a couple of questions. Let me start with someone from the Philippines. We had Alexis Romero from Philippine Star. Yes, please.
Good day, President Marcos. How are you doing?
Just about managing.
Okay, thank you very much. President Marcos, you cited in your speech earlier the need to go beyond declaring respect and support for UNCLOS and to see an effective application of the UNCLOS to address maritime disputes. And we all know that this includes the South China Sea Row. What concrete measures can the ASEAN and the EU undertake to ensure the rule of law in disputed areas beyond the usual strongly worded statements?
Well, this is one of the reasons that we have these conferences, is to map out any possible actions that might be jointly taken, because every action that might be taken that objects or brings light to a possible violation of the UNCLOS is much stronger when it is brought about by a group of nations such as ASEAN, and if the EU now, with our strategic partnership, is able to also join their voices to that, then that will be much stronger in the terms of actually being able to enforce what UNCLOS is all about. Their commitment by the EU's commitment, which is found in the joint declaration, the EU's commitment to even the doctrine of the DOC, the doctrine of behaviors in the South China Sea, is already a very, very big step for us in the Philippines, for example, and for all the countries around the South China Sea, that we now have the support, a strategic support from not only the member countries of EU, but of EU itself. Now, because EU and ASEAN together comprise the largest, most well-organized regional aggregations, then that will be a very, very strong, that will be a very, very strong position to be able to negotiate, even individually for the Philippines or jointly with ASEAN or even with the EU as perhaps as a third party for us to take action and to negotiate further these difficulties that we are all having to face with the problems in terms of territoriality in the South China Sea.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have another question. Rosie Birchard, yes, from Channel News Asia, please.
Thank you very much. Rosie Birchard reporting for Channel News Asia, CNA. To President Marcos and Prime Minister Hun Sen, the EU has announced this 10 billion euros of infrastructure investments. Now that is just a drop in the ocean really when you compare it to what the Asian Development Bank estimates is needed in terms of investment to keep up levels of growth in ASEAN. What would you have liked to see? Would you like to see more? Can you give us some insights into that? And to Presidents Michel and von der Leyen, we heard a lot about a potential block-to-block free trade agreement there. Now, I believe that's still pretty far off. What are the biggest barriers in your eyes? Is it Myanmar? Is it about climate policies from the ASEAN side? What do you think needs to happen to be able to get there? Thank you very much.
Go ahead. Well, I think the one who can best answer that will be the donor of the 10 billion euro, and we would like to ask them how they would want us to use their hard-earned money when it comes to ASEAN. So perhaps President Michel.
No, maybe I will try to answer both questions. First of all, we are absolutely determined to upgrade the level of our ambition in terms of a strategic partnership with the ASEAN countries. This is very clear. And this is also very important to take into account the fact that the EU is mobilizing money in order to make very tangible the bilateral partnerships we have with each of the ASEAN, the members of this ASEAN organization, each of the ASEAN countries. And this is an important signal that we want to send to the leaders, but also to the people in that region. Point one. Maybe with a smile, another information that I had the occasion to share yesterday with some of the ASEAN colleagues. Sometimes it could happen, we have some difficulties within the EU to be on the same page. Sometimes we have divisions, we have difficult questions, we have difficult topics. But one thing is absolutely certain. When we have on the agenda of the European Council our relationship with ASEAN, spontaneously, immediately, the 27 member states, we are all on the same page. We are absolutely motivated to strengthen the ties. We have exactly the same assessment. We think this is a strategic importance for all of us to develop and to make more tangible this partnership with that region. And this is a transition to the second part of your question, the trade agreements. You know, this is a general debate across the EU. We believe in the free trade. We believe in the globalization, but we think at the same time that we need to work for more common standards, more similar standards, to take more into account our common goals in terms of climate change, for instance, in terms of labor conditions, for instance. And it's very good that we have demonstrated that it's possible with some of the countries of ASEAN to have free trade agreements, and we can observe that this is very positive on both sides. It's delivering concrete and tangible results in terms of increase of the volume of the economic exchanges between those countries and the EU. And this was told by the President of the Commission. It's not a secret that we have also exploratory talks with some other ASEAN countries in order to identify how we can try to make some progress and maybe to launch negotiations in the following months or in the near future. And there is another dream we have. We have the dream to make possible, sooner or later, EU-ASEAN free trade agreement. But of course, to make it happen, it's also important that within the ASEAN, steps are made in terms of economic integration. It's not exactly the same situation in each of those countries, and it's probably also an encouragement with respect for the ASEAN countries to observe some progress in terms of economic integration. You can see that you are really motivated. We are very proud because this statement today is a very strong message. This is a strong impetus for the future. There are concrete projects on the table, and we are very optimistic and confident that on a regular basis we'll have the occasion to meet at the leaders level in order to assess what we did and what we need to do in order to make sure that we are implementing what we have decided.
If I might just add something, it is remarkable actually to see during our meetings how, despite the marked differences between EU member states and ASEAN member states, that it is remarkable that we identify the same priorities as EU together as ASEAN does, as the EU seems to also have the same priorities. And those are in the areas that we spoke about: environmental protection, sustainable economic development, combating climate change, connectivity, cybersecurity, digital transition, migration, gender justice. So it is, as I said, it is just an indication and a manifestation of how global we have actually become. And although we come from very different places, from very different conditions, we have a very similar view, very similar worldview of the challenges that we all face.
Perhaps you want to say first? Yeah, go ahead.
ខ្ញុំសូមបន្ថែមសូមព្រះកាសខ្ញុំសូមបន្ថែមអំពីចំណុចជាមួយនឹងចម្លើយរបស់លោកសាលនិងអាដាមម៉ាកូចំណុចរបស់យើងអាស៊ានមិនមែនត្រង់តែត្រូវទន្ទឹងរង់ចាំអ្វីក៏ត្រូវជួយពីEUនោះទេប៉ុន្តែត្រូវឃើញនៅការបំពេញឲ្យគ្នាទៅវិញទៅមករវាងសេដ្ឋកិច្ចតំបន់ទាំងពីរពិតហើយគឺបណ្ដាប្រទេសអឺរ៉ុបមានការជឿនលឿនជាងក៏ប៉ុន្តែអឺរ៉ុបអាស៊ានក៏មិនមែនគ្រាន់តែជាកន្លែងដែលត្រូវតែរងចាំទទួលជំនួយពីអឺរ៉ុបនោះទេដូច្នេះស្ថិតនៅក្នុងស្ថានភាពនេះហើយដែលអាស៊ាននិងអឺរ៉ុបបានឯកភាពគ្នាដើម្បីបង្កើតឡើងឲ្យមានកិច្ចព្រមព្រៀងពាណិជ្ជកម្មសេរីយើងពិតជាមិនមែនចង់ឲ្យប្រជាជនរបស់យើងនៅតែក្ររហូតហើយរងចាំភាពអនុគ្រោះអំពីEUនោះទេយើងចង់បានកិច្ចព្រមព្រៀងពាណិជ្ជកម្មសេរីពិតប្រាកដការលើកឡើងអំបញ្ញមិញថាតើមានឧបសគ្គអ្វីវាអាចមកពីបញ្ហាម៉ាយាម៉ាទេខ្ញុំគិតថាយើងមិនគួរដាក់បញ្ហានយោបាយមករាំងខ្ទប់ជាមួយនឹងកិច្ចព្រមព្រៀងពាណិជ្ជកម្មសេរីនោះឡើយក្នុងពេលពិធីបើកចំណាប់អារម្មណ៍របស់ប្រធានាធិបតីឥណ្ឌូនេស៊ីបានបញ្ជាក់ហើយភាពជាដៃគូត្រូវតែស្មើភាពមិនអាចយកច្បាប់របស់ផ្នែកមួយទៅដាក់ផ្នែកមួយនោះទេចំណុចនេះត្រូវតែរំលឹកភាគីយើងទាំងពីរត្រូវតែស្មើភាពគ្នាដើម្បីអនុវត្តឲ្យបានឆាប់រហ័សមិនអាចផ្អែកទៅលើសភាពការម៉ាយាម៉ាឬប្រទេសណាមួយហើយបែរជារំខានទៅដល់កិច្ចខិតខំប្រឹងប្រែងជាមួយនឹងការបង្កើតឲ្យមានកិច្ចព្រមព្រៀងពាណិជ្ជកម្មសេរីរវាងតំបន់ទាំងពីរនោះទេលើការចាក់ស្ដែងទាក់ទិនជាមួយនឹងសិទ្ធិមនុស្ស តេតិនជាមួយនឹងបញ្ហានេះបញ្ហានោះខ្ញុំក៏ចង់សួរថាតើយូបានចុះហត្ថលេខាជាមួយប្រទេសណាខ្លះនៅក្នុងអាស៊ានហើយតើបណ្ដាសិទ្ធិមនុស្សនៅក្នុងទីនោះវាយ៉ាងម៉េចប៉ុន្តែចំណុចនេះមិនមែនអ្វីសុទ្ធតែត្រូវគ្នាទាំងអស់នោះទេប៉ុន្តែយើងមានចំណុចរួមមួយគឺតម្រង់ទៅរកគោលដៅនៃការតភ្ជាប់ការផ្សារភ្ជាប់រវាងតំបន់ទាំងពីរហើយជាសេដ្ឋកិច្ចបំពេញឲ្យគ្នាសង្ឃឹមថាចំណុចនេះគឺជាចំណុចដាស់តឿនអាស៊ានរបស់យើងឲ្យខិតខំប្រឹងប្រែងដើម្បីងើបឈរឡើងធ្វើជាដៃគូស្មើភាពនិងស្មើធិដ្ឋិជាមួយនឹង EU សូមអរគុណ
Madam President.
Yeah, indeed, you are right. Global Gateway is a much bigger program, 300 billion for investment worldwide. And there are different regions with different needs. The advantage with ASEAN is that we're meeting a highly developed economy. And therefore, the investment is not only the crucial point, but as this is public investment, for us it's important to have these infrastructure projects. And by infrastructure, I'm not only speaking about old-fashioned infrastructure terminology, but in the sense that President Marcos was describing. And what we need there is the incentive of the public sector as joint actions where it is needed, a conducive environment, for example, regulatory environment, the private sector, and the exchange of technology. And this is growing on 3 partnerships that we are developing together. The ASEAN-EU Green Transition Partnership, the ASEAN-EU Connectivity Partnership that starts this year, and the ASEAN-EU Energy Dialogue. And this is the overall concept. So you're right, the 10 billion are one part, but certainly not the whole picture of the way we address the projects. Now, what the region-to-region free trade agreement is concerned, we started to negotiate in 2007, and a few years after, it stopped. And then, for a while, nothing happened. And then, with the one or the other member country of ASEAN, we were able to develop a free trade agreement. Therefore, we have now building blocks. I would call it that name. It's much more mature. And this encourages, and I'm very pleased to listen to our guests, this encourages us to think in a broader spectrum for a region-to-region free trade agreement, as we have already experienced now with building blocks. It may be that, first of all, the one or the other free trade agreement with individual countries of the ASEAN is coming first, but we have now experience. The free trade agreements that are in place are delivering, so they show the success, and we have proven that we're able to match the different interests.
Thank you. Yes, Finbar, please.
Thank you very much. Finbar Birmingham with the Hong Kong newspaper, the South China Morning Post. A lot of talk about the things that you have in common, but just reading the joint statement, there certainly are some differences, particularly on Ukraine, where it says most members strongly condemned the war in Ukraine and stressed it is causing immense human suffering. To Prime Minister Hun Sen, President Marcos, could you explain why it isn't all members that are condemning the war in Ukraine? Just a follow-up question. ASEAN is often portrayed as a swing state between the big powers of the United States, China and Europe. I'm wondering from both of your perspectives whether you welcome the European Union to compete with the United States and China, or whether indeed you do see it in that way. Thank you very much.
Trong cô taបញ្ជាក់បន្តិចទៅលើបញ្ហានេះពិតហើយគឺនៅក្នុងអាស៊ានរបស់យើងមិនមែនមានគោលចំហដូចគ្នាទាំងស្រុងនោះទេសេចក្តីសម្រេចនៅមហាសន្និបាតអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិមានប្រទេសខ្លះក៏បោះឆ្នោតគ្រប់គ្រងប្រទេសខ្លះក៏បោះឆ្នោតអនុប្រវេតសម្រាប់កម្ពុជាយើង បោះឆ្នោតគ្រប់គ្រងសេចក្តីសម្រេចរបស់អង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិស្គាល់ទោសចំពោះការឈ្លានពានឬការកាត់យកទឹកដីក្រៅពីនោះក្នុងឋានៈជាប្រធានអាស៊ានយើងក៏បានសម្របសម្រួលដើម្បីចេញសេចក្តីថ្លែងការណ៍ពាក់ព័ន្ធជាមួយនឹងការសន្ទនាឬបទឈប់បាញ់នៅក្នុងរវាងរុស្ស៊ីនិងអ៊ុយក្រែនយើងមិនយល់ព្រមជាមួយនឹងការឈ្លានពានការប្រើប្រាស់កម្លាំងឬការកាត់យកទឹកដីនោះទេចំហនេះបើគិតទៅយើងមិនមែនគ្រាន់តែជាអ្នកគ្រប់គ្រងទេក៏ប៉ុន្តែយើងបានដើរតួនាទីជាអ្នកធ្វើគោលស្វងសរទៅលើសេចក្តីសម្រេចនានានៅឯអង្គការសហប្រជាជាតិហើយពាក់ព័ន្ធជាមួយនឹងគោលចំហហើយតាក់ទងជាមួយនឹងបញ្ហាអ៊ុយក្រែននេះតាក់ទងនឹងនេះកម្ពុជាក៏បានសម្រេចនៅរួចហើយដើម្បីបញ្ជូនគ្រូខាងផ្នែកដោះមីនរួមជាមួយជប៉ុនទៅជួយអ៊ុយក្រែននៅការបណ្ដុះបណ្ដាលហើយយើងក៏នឹងទទួលយកសេចក្ដីកម្មរបស់អ៊ុយក្រែន15នាក់នៅក្នុងខែមករានេះដើម្បីធ្វើជាអ្នកបំផ្លាញចោលក្របមីនព្រោះវាជារឿងគ្រោះថ្នាក់ហើយវាជារឿងមនុស្សធម៌តែយើងមិនបញ្ជូនទាហានរបស់យើងចូលច្បាំងជាមួយនឹងរុស្ស៊ីក្នុងប្រទេសអ៊ុយក្រែននោះទេសូមឲ្យអាដាមម៉ាកូឆ្លើយនៅចំហរបស់ហ្វីលីពីន
Perhaps I should answer the second part of your question about the competition between the United States and China, and if it's that what we want. Believe me, we would rather not have these tensions in our part of the world. That is the last thing that we would like. And the Philippines, for our part, has taken an independent policy, and we absolutely refuse to go back to the situation of the Cold War, where we have to pick sides in terms of who the superpower is that we are aligned with. What we say is that, to put it very simply, is that in the Philippines, our foreign policy is the policy for peace and for the national interest. So foreign policy will always be guided by a commitment to peace and the pursuit of the national interest. In terms of that competition, as I said, we have to find, I think all of us, member states, especially in ASEAN, have to find our own way. However, I think I would not be overstepping by saying that we agree in the sense that we are committed to the idea that the future of the Asia-Pacific region should be decided by Asia-Pacific countries and not any other power outside of our area.
Thank you. We have one more question, I believe. Yes, from Nestor Corrales, please. Also from the Philippine Daily Inquirer. Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. President Marcos. What has been the EU's response to your call to concretize the loss and damage concept in relation to climate financing, and what measures can be done to ensure that major polluters will be made accountable?
It's this very tricky question, and I brought it up simply to illustrate that EU has in fact been at the forefront in the kind of shall we say compensation for climate change. And however, the issue of damage and loss is still, although it is a big step forward that we all now accept, both developing and developed countries now accept the concept of damage and loss, the actual number is very, very hard to determine. And beyond that, even if we are able to quantify the damage and loss, you say it's $100 million, whatever the number is, what do we do with that number? Who do we go to? Who pays the bulk of it? However, I sense that there is a willingness for the developed countries to participate and to help in mitigation, to help in adaptation for those countries like the Philippines, most of the countries around ASEAN that are very vulnerable. There is a willingness to help, but how to provide that help is still a question that we cannot definitively answer. That is why a lot of work has to be done, and I have brought it up with the EU, and I've said that this is an important issue, especially for the Philippines and for many, many other countries. But again, it's the work that we have ahead of us to be able to come to some kind of agreement as to what damage and loss actually means, and how will the compensation for that damage and loss be made. And for my part, I think until we are able to determine that, I think we should think of what we can do in the future. And that, I think, has great potential to be put into effect in the short term rather than in the very long term. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this press conference. Check out the joint declaration which we have published. Thank you, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.